They laughed when the orphan boy was driven into the forest. The elders said he would never survive a week. With no family, no food, and no place to call home, his future seemed hopeless. But years later, when the villagers entered that same forest, they discovered something so incredible that it left them speechless. What they found would become a legend told for generations. This is the story of the boy who built his life in the forest. Long ago, in a peaceful African village called Udo, there lived a young orphan named Obina. While other children played happily with their families, Obina faced each day alone. He owned nothing except a few warm clothes and a heart full of dreams. Yet despite his hardships, he never stopped believing that every morning before the sun rose, Obina worked harder than most adults. He carried water, gathered firewood, and helped farmers in exchange for scraps of food. Though exhaustion weighed heavily on his young shoulders, he refused to complain. One scorching afternoon, Obina saw an elderly woman struggling to carry a heavy clay pot of water. Without hesitation, he rushed to help her. Touched by his kindness, the old woman smiled and whispered a blessing that would change his destiny forever. Then disaster struck. The rains stopped falling. Rivers dried up. Crops withered beneath the blazing sun. Fear spread across Udo as families struggled to survive. The villagers began searching for someone to blame. Desperate for answers, the elders summoned the village diviner. After performing sacred rituals beneath the ancient tree, he made a shocking announcement. According to the spirits, a curse was hiding among them. To everyone's surprise, the diviner pointed directly at Obina. The villagers gasped. The orphan boy stood frozen as fearful eyes turned toward him. Though innocent, he suddenly became the village's greatest suspect. Fear quickly became anger. Friends abandoned him. Children ran away whenever he approached. The same villagers he once helped now treated him like an enemy. Beneath the sacred tree, the elders reached their final decision. Obina would be banished from Udo forever. His pleas for mercy fell on deaf ears. At sunrise, Obina left the village carrying only a small bag. As he walked away, he looked back one final time. Not a single person came to stop him. Ahead stood the forbidden forest, a place feared by every villager. Strange sounds echoed between ancient trees. Yet with nowhere else to go, Obina stepped into the darkness and toward his destiny. As darkness swallowed the forest, Obina realized how alone he truly was. Every rustle sounded like a predator. Every distant cry made his heart race. Using branches and leaves, he built a small shelter and prayed for morning to come. The next morning brought a new challenge: hunger. Obina searched for food for hours. His stomach growled as he wandered through the forest, unsure which fruits were safe to eat. Just when he felt he could go no further, he heard the sound of flowing water. Following it, he discovered a clear stream sparkling beneath the sunlight. For the first time since his exile, hope returned. Near the stream, Obina found a tortoise trapped beneath a fallen branch. Though exhausted himself, he freed the helpless creature. The tortoise stared at him strangely before slowly disappearing into the bushes. That night, Obina dreamed of glowing ancestors standing among giant trees. They thanked him for showing kindness when he had every reason to be bitter. Then they pointed toward a hidden valley. When Obina awoke, he remembered the dream. As he walked through the forest, colorful birds seemed to guide his path. Trusting the signs, he followed them deeper into the unknown. Beyond the hills, Obina discovered a beautiful valley untouched by human hands. Rich soil covered the land, and fresh water flowed nearby. It was everything he needed to start a new life. Day after day, Obina worked tirelessly. He cut wood, gathered stones, and built a stronger home. Though no one helped him, he refused to give up. Using seeds he had saved from the village, Obina planted his first crops. As he covered them with soil, he whispered a promise to himself: he would never let hardship defeat him. Months later, the crops grew tall and healthy. Obinna stood among rows of maize and vegetables, overwhelmed with gratitude. For the first time in his life, he had more than enough food. One afternoon, a group of hunters stumbled upon Obinna's valley. They could hardly believe their eyes. Where they expected wilderness, they found prosperity. The hunters returned home with stories of the young man who had built a life from nothing. Soon, travelers and wanderers began arriving at the valley. Obinna welcomed everyone. Together they built homes, farms, and workshops. What began as one boy's dream slowly became a thriving community. As the settlement expanded, people looked to Obinna for guidance. His wisdom, kindness, and fairness earned him the respect of all. Markets bustled with trade. The hidden valley had become a prosperous kingdom deep within the forest. While Obinna's forest kingdom flourished, the village of Udo continued to suffer. The drought had left the fields barren. Hunger spread from house to house. Families argued over food, and many began to regret the day they banished the orphan boy. One day, traders passing through Udo spoke of a wealthy settlement hidden deep within the forest. They described overflowing farms, busy markets, and a wise leader loved by his people. Desperate for help, the elders decided to investigate. Led by the elders, a group of villagers entered the very forest they once feared. For days they traveled through dense trees and winding paths. The deeper they went, the more curious they became about the mysterious kingdom ahead. At last, the trees opened to reveal a sight beyond imagination. Wide roads stretched across fertile land. Markets overflowed with goods. Children laughed as they played near beautiful homes. Then the villagers saw the kingdom's leader and froze in disbelief. It was Obinna. Ashamed, the elders bowed their heads. They admitted their mistake and begged Obinna for forgiveness. The villagers expected him to seek revenge for the pain they had caused. Instead, Obinna smiled. He welcomed them with open arms, shared food with the hungry, and taught them how to rebuild their lives. From that day forward, peace returned to both communities. And the story of the orphan who built a kingdom in the forest became a legend told for generations. Remember this lesson: never judge someone's future by their present struggles. The person you reject today may become the one who changes your life tomorrow. For more videos like this, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel.